Timeless 106.1 FM KFFB. This is Bob Connell, and I cannot believe they told me here in the studio that I was talking to Senator Boozman last week. And Senator, it feels like it's been a month or more since I've talked to you.
I know, Bob. I'm in a situation now where I don't know what the day is a lot of the time. So it seems like much later in the week now. But anyway, it is what it is, and lots of activity in the last several days. A good product for the American people. That's what it's all about.
As we always try to update our listeners from the governor's news conference each day, from yesterday, the governor, Asa Hutchinson, Secretary Smith confirmed 55 new cases of the coronavirus for a total of 335. Confirmed case in Arkansas is 230 yesterday. At the time of the press conference, the total breaks out at 14 under the age of 18, 108 over the age of 65, and 213 adults from the age 19 to 64. 60% are women, 40% are men, and 41 hospitalized, 13 ICU patients, and 42 in the nursing homes. 13 people have recovered, 3 deaths reported with the coronavirus, 2 of them from Cleveland County. And I'm telling you, our health professionals are doing a good job.
Well, our medical personnel are doing a very, very good job of aggressively treating. I think our statistics, we have to be a little bit concerned about in the sense that we just not have been able to test like we should. So I think probably once the testing really gets out, and it will, that's one of the things that we really put a tremendous amount of money into this bill to try and get the resources out so our professionals can do a better job, have the resources that they need. It's not their fault. But I think the numbers will jump up significantly.
Well, that's true with those being tested. I know we're being tested, I think, in the White River Medical Center is doing some, Baptist Health in Heber, Conway Regional, and Faulkner County. And the top 4 counties now are Pulaski, Cleburne, Faulkner, and Van Buren counties in our listening area. So it is growing.
Yeah, and we don't want to lull ourselves to sleep thinking, well, it's really not in my county, it's not in my city or area I'm in. I think that it is to a greater extent than what we know. And for many people, the risk is fairly slight. But for those that at all different ages, young and old, that are susceptible for one reason or another, maybe the medications they're taking, maybe they have an autoimmune disease that they know about or don't know about, and then certainly our elderly population, those people are at great risk. The mortality rate is pretty great. So I'm not so concerned about myself. What I don't want to do, though, is be irresponsible and catch the virus and then give it to somebody else. So I might catch it, but I really am trying to do the best I can to, under the circumstances, to take the precautions that I need to take.
Well, we are encouraging self-distancing and also for the elderly, stay home and have someone else bring you the groceries. And that's something we're all trying to do as a community.
And the other thing, Bob, is it's so heartwarming to hear the stories of people stepping forward and doing just that, taking care of somebody that needs some help for whatever reason, maybe a neighbor that can't get out, shouldn't get out. Those stories are wonderful, and that's really what America and particularly Arkansas is all about.
That's true, and I love the business leaders. They're changing their commercials and talking about, especially those that's been around forever, those that's been in the business for, 20, 30, 40, 50, even 100 years are saying, hey, we've been here in America, fly the flag, and we're going to continue. And that's what I've been telling people. I remember Black Monday in 1987 where Sam Walton just says it was paper, talking about the money he lost. He lost $1 billion, and he said it's just paper. That puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
No, very much so. And we passed a big bill last night to try and help our businesses, try and help things on a number of different fronts. One of the things that we did was, primarily, we've got to fight the virus. We've got to conquer it. And so we pushed a lot of money out to our hospitals. They're on the front lines right now. They desperately need more resources, so they're going to get a lot of money to help in that regard. Lots of money towards vaccine, lots of money towards treatment, those things in dealing with this. The personal protective gear has been a real problem. Lots of money encouraging manufacturers to switch over and start producing that gear for us. Things like telehealth, resources out so that people that don't need to get out, if they're having a cough, call in, telehealth in. We want to provide those resources. The other part of this, that was the medical part, fighting the vaccine. And then we wanted to provide immediate relief to families and individuals. And this is all about, protecting families, protecting communities. But families, individuals are really struggling right now. So many of them being laid off, not for any fault of their own, just that the business doesn't have any business anymore. No one could imagine us being in this situation. The entire country shut down, just like the rest of the world. It's unimaginable. So there's going to be checks in the mail fairly soon, $1,200 for an individual, $2,200 for families, and $500 for children. This is not a stimulus program. This is so that these people can pay their electricity bills, their utilities, pay their rent, their car payments, all that just exist. So that's the purpose of that. Unemployment insurance has been significantly increased as we see so many that are out of work. Little things, delaying student loans, delaying the interest for 6 months, those kind of things. The other problem, Bob, is people like yourself, our companies, our businesses, particularly our small businesses, are desperate right now in the sense of we want to make sure that when people go back to work, we protected those businesses so they'll actually have something to go back to. So we're providing small business loans. They can use them, these loans, to pay payroll. They can use it to pay rent, utilities, those kind of things. If they using the money for that purpose, then the money is forgiven. So that's going to be a real boost to our businesses. And then the other thing we worry about is our food supply. And so in an effort to protect that, lots of money to producers in the sense of making sure that you'd think that they would be doing very well right now. They're not, just because the supply chain is all messed up. So protecting that supply chain, I think that's probably the greatest thing that we fear, is going in the grocery store and being empty. These are all things that we're working in conjunction with. It's a huge amount of money, but it's necessary. I was really pleased, Bob, last night on the floor as we voted, and again, social distanced. But you almost get a 9/11 feeling of Congress starting to pull together now. We did not have one dissenting vote on this.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's truly amazing.
Yeah.
And the bill's not perfect. It's not, if I wrote it or you wrote it or somebody else wrote it, it's not, exactly what we would do. But it was a good product at the end. And so it was everybody working together. And as you say, it truly was amazing. House is going to take it up tomorrow, and I believe that they'll voice vote it early in the morning, and then we'll get this thing out and try and make it such that people have the confidence as they go forward that we're going to beat this thing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But in the meantime, people have to pay their bills. They have to function. And so this is an effort, again, to protect families and communities during this really unprecedented time. I don't know that certainly in modern history, there's not been a time like this, maybe World War II, but to have a situation where the entire world economy is frozen, to have the threat of the virus is really a unique situation.
Well, no, that's amazing, and I do appreciate you being a leader in the Senate, taking to the floor, saying we've got to get together. You were there in 9/11, and that's what I thought. This is a statement that you were making. I'm thinking, are they listening? And it sounds like the Senate did come together. I mean, that's the first time you guys have been unanimous on anything that I can remember in recent years, of something of this magnitude.
Well, yeah, no, really of any magnitude. Everybody's always got something. They can find something wrong with whatever we're talking about. But this was quite a testament. You had all different people coming together and with representing all different types of states and this and that. But to have a vote where and I think that really does send a very, very strong message, I hope, to the American public. We're going to do whatever's necessary to weather the storm.
Well, one thing, too, just for people who are scared about this virus, thinking they can't go get tested, I mean, that's something that I think you just, on the health side, it's free, it's covered. This is not going to hurt you as an individual.
Yes, no, exactly, and we've got to do a better job on the testing. That's something that's not gone well at all. But once tests are such that, and I think shortly we'll have a test, much like you go to the doctor and they test you for the flu, very shortly, if you've got it or not. That'll do two things. It'll relieve you, but it also will affect your behavior. Then you know that it's okay to go visit maybe an elderly parent or whatever, if you've got the ability to know that you don't have the virus. Just all kinds of things that are cropping up in the social order and this and that you just don't think about. So testing would be a great help for all of us to know where we're at.
Senator, I know that you got a tight schedule, and I appreciate your leadership. Arkansas is proud when we seen you get up and tell your colleagues it's time to come together. This is bigger than 9/11, and here you got unanimous. We got to chalk one up for Senator Boozman on that one, and we were really proud of that.
Well, I don't know about that, but it did, I think it did become infectious, and as a result, I think we produced something that is going to help the American public a great deal, and that's what it's all about. During this time, my message to your listeners would be, keep being Arkansan, keep taking care of each other and look for ways to help each other, and at the end of the day, we're going to get through this. And I think because of the dependence on these other countries and this and that, our supply chains, I think we're going to be much, much stronger. The other thing, Bob, is, because of the fact that the world is so small now, we all know friends that have traveled to China and Italy and all of the different places all over the world. That's such an easy thing to do now. Cruises, you take advantage of these things. But as a result, you do bring things home. This is something that has the potential of occurring again, but we're going to be ready for it next time.
Absolutely. And our hats off to all the medical professionals and all those people keeping America rolling. I mean, it's talking about all of them, truck drivers, the grocery stores.
Yeah.
It's
You're
just
exactly
amazing.
Right.
I'm proud of them, man. Everywhere I go, I'm just giving.
Exactly. The people that are working most of the night stocking the shelves again, all of those people, you just don't think about those things. But you're right. We need to go out of our way. And that's the other thing is you do become aware of these things now, and I think the nation itself is very, very grateful.
Senator Boozman, thanks so much for taking time and talking with us. And instead of saying we'll see you next month, we'll see you next week, and it feels like a month, but thank you for the update.
Take care. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Timeless 106.1 FM. Stay tuned. We do have Congressman French Hill. We're going to have him on the phone at 8:06 right after the news break with Fox News. Fox News, top of every hour, bottom of the hour on your way to work, lunch, and on your way home, followed by the Arkansas Radio Network with state and regional news and KFFB Today, keeping you up to date. We are Timeless 106.1 KFFB.